Hey caregivers! So I just posted the It's Spring video, a lesson for your kids, and I thought it would be nice to also include a video of some ideas for supplemental activities that you could do along with the children that support some of the concepts that I talked about. So I'll go ahead and get started. The first thing is I pushed in the target vocabulary word of gorgeous. So if you could just use the word gorgeous in everyday conversation so that the kids can get used to that word and familiar with what it means. If your child's older, you could also incorporate some other words that also mean gorgeous or beautiful along with it so that they can add to their vocabulary. Another great idea is to go on a walk outside, a nature walk. So I talked a lot about the seasons, how the difference between the seasons, and a lot about spring. So go ahead and experience spring. I talked about different sizes. So you can, while you're on your nature walk, you can look for different flowers of different sizes. If your child is younger, you could have two different sized flowers and help them figure out which one is bigger and which one is smaller. If they're a little bit more advanced, you can find multiple sizes and have them line them up in size order, smallest to largest or largest to smallest. I also touched on different textures. So you could go on your nature walk, you could have like a texture scavenger hunt. So you could look for all different pieces of nature that are different textures, rough, smooth, like pointy, prickly, just all different textures, and see if they can find and identify all the different textures and help them out along the way. I also talked about how plants need sun and water to grow. So something that you could do if you have the resources to is get some seeds and plant some plants and then have the kids water it and put it in a sunny place and watch it grow. If you don't have access to seeds, then you could even just on your nature walk, get a piece of nature and bring it inside and plant it inside and help the children find a good place to put it and remind the children that they have to water it as well, just to help get them used to that. Another concept that I talked about in the video was perception, how when we see something from far away, it's not always what we think it is. Same with if we see something up close, it's not always what we think it is once we get the proper view of it. So something that you could do just naturally is during your walk or during the day, point out things that look similar to other things. So if you see a bush in the distance that looks like a dog, you could point out like, oh, that looks like a dog. Let's get closer and see if it is. And then when you realize it's not, oh, it's actually a bush. See, sometimes when we see things from further away, our perception isn't right and we don't actually see it properly. So that's just a cool concept for kids to understand and grasp. We did like a counting song with flowers. So we did do some math skills. Some more math skills that you could do is on your scavenger hunt, you can ask for a specific number of flowers. So ask your children to find maybe 10 flowers, and after they find 2, ask them, how many more do we need to get 10? We need to find 10. And then that'll get them thinking about like the math behind it. Another way to incorporate math into the activity is you can encourage them like, oh, when we get back, let's give everyone in the house some of the flowers. And they will have to try to figure out how to divide up the flowers evenly among however many numbers of people you have in the house. So that's also a cool like division problem for them to think through, and you can help them lay it out to figure that out to help with math stuff. We learned a few cool songs, so you can also just sing those songs with the kids and encourage them to learn through that way. You can paint with flowers is an idea I thought of. So if you have paint, you can have them paint with the flowers, like using that as the paintbrush, or other medium, like nature medium, like sticks, painting with just nature in general. It's just a cool thing. Or even letting them pick what thing from nature they want to paint with. So those are just some activities that I thought of that could go along with the lesson. That way you have some ideas of fun things to do with your kids. Okay, bye!